To the victor go the spoils. The Bad Batch returns with a fun two-part adventure that starts with a mission to retrieve a slice of Count Dooku's wealth. G'day, welcome to the Nerdy Dad channel and my review and discussion of the first episode of the Bad Batch Season 2, Spoils of War. Spoils of War aired back-to-back with Ruins of War, directed by Stuart Lee and Brad Rao. Look, I'm going to start by saying that the animation in this series is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the episode opens on the beach, which has been shown in all the trailers, so it's not a spoiler. And it's nice to see some completely different scenery in this series. Beautiful rainforest, crystal clear water. I'd holiday there. Wildlife could be a bit of a problem though. Also, as we saw in the trailers, the character models have been updated between series. And of course, this movement away from being Republic soldiers is also reflected in their characters. Omega also clearly gets older between the series, and she's shown to be much more competent and independent than she was in Season 1. This episode is definitely part of a two-part arc. It ends with a cliffhanger. Overall, I had a good time with this episode and its Episode 2 companion. Now, into the spoiler part of the discussion. So spoilers in 3, 2, 1. What's in the box? Go, 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 go. Probably nothing that matters. Well, if it matters, it doesn't matter yet, because it doesn't get referenced again for either episode 1 or 2. What does matter about it is that the box was obtained for Fee, the most trustworthy pirate Sid knows, who we're introduced to back at Sid's, and she's almost certainly going to pop up again. The other thing that's important about the box is that we get to see Omega's growing competence and her overall usefulness to the Batch while they recover it. Sid sees the storm that's coming. As we found out in Andor, as the Empire stretches out from the core worlds, soon nowhere will be safe from their influence, and cities like Ord Mantell will no longer be safe for mercenary groups like Clone Force 99 to operate from. Similar to what Andor thought he wanted, she's after a score big enough for her to go to ground indefinitely, and she encourages the Batch to do the same. Echo has a different thought about how they should use the money, and that's to help others under threat by the Empire. Either way, everyone except Hunter agrees that they should take the job. While his position is consistent to Season 1, Echo gets a bit more of a spotlight in these two episodes than he did last season, which is nice. And his discussion with Hunter, which was overheard by Omega, comes back into play in the next episode.
I know why you agreed to this mission, but we can do better things with Dooku's fortune than hide, Hunter. With what we're up against, we have to be prepared to fight. That means numbers and weapons. That's not the kind of life this kid deserves. Our lives are like this because of Omega.
When the Batch arrives on Serrano, Hunter asks Omega if she's coming. This is in stark contrast to the majority of last season, where Hunter was keeping Omega out of harm's way as much as possible, usually on the ship, and once even back at Sid's place. We then get to see that Serrano's capital, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Carania, has been absolutely flattened by orbital bombardment. The Batch's target is a group of Imperial transports near what was Dooku's palace. The job is where the episode gets its title. The Empire is in the process of retrieving Count Dooku's war chest, and even a small fraction of that wealth that Dooku controlled during the Clone Wars is a fortune, and the Batch's mission is to retrieve as much of it as they can. Predictably, the job goes sideways. Wrecker and Hunter end up trapped in Dooku's palace, and Echo, Tech, and Omega end up trapped in one of the Imperial cargo ships.
That is concerning.
It is kind of cool revisiting Dooku's palace, although it's not in quite the same state as when we last saw it. Wrecker and Hunter use an old escape hatch in their throne room, and they manage to escape into the ruined cityscape. Meanwhile, Omega shows that Tech's training has been paying off, with her knowledge of Imperial ships, and the team manages to escape in a container, although they can't control where it's going to land.
Initiating the cargo release.
And that's where the episode ends. As I said earlier, it's a cliffhanger. I'll be back tomorrow night to talk about Ruins of War, the second episode of Season 2. This is the Nerdy Dad, signing off.